a second. So, hi everyone. My name is Ziv Barzilay, calling from Israel. 6 years at Salesforce. Right now, director of products and engineering, leading innovation team that really makes an impact leveraging Squirrel across the company. I'm going to give you a few tastes of what we were able to build using Squirrel, and it's outstanding, to say the least. So we are, I think, one of the first customers of Squirrel. We're using it for more than 2 years by now. We use Squirrel for a lot of POCs, for user validations and actual application in production. We are using it for web ROI calculators, and you're going to see a demo in a second. We use it for discovery tools, for different pricing calculators to help our sales reps. We also use it for ROI tools. So how do we quantify the value of Salesforce product portfolio? So this is one of the best true no-code solution in our arsenal. I mean, you really don't need to know how to code, and you can really build stuff very, very fast. Development times, we can build apps in hours, and we always impressed our audience by the speed that we can move using Squirrel. We are working with a very outstanding development and support team at Squirrel. So kudos to Mel, Rich, Isaac, and the others. I think they do a great job, and we're really enjoying very high uptime of Squirrel. So it's, for us, it's a mission critical solution. It's embedded in a lot of our processes in the company. So just to give you a quick taste on how we use Squirrel. So if you look at a typical development process, starting from research, UI design, user validation, we use Figma, a prototype to validate the development cycle, testing, and then P0 updates. You know, the things that you didn't think, you didn't catch it during the prototype, and now you need to update your designs and then test and launch. We use Squirrel heavily on building very quick POCs, because we can run very short research, have a very high fidelity UI UX design, and then build in days, and then have a user validation with actual working app. So Squirrel can give you the experience of this is actual working app, and really helping us to decide on go, no go on critical projects. We also use it for light apps in production. So we'll go with the research UI design and use Squirrel for validate quickly and then test and launch. And we also use it for our complex apps. So instead of using user validation via Figma prototypes, we actually use Squirrel instead of those Figma prototypes to provide a very realistic experience of our designs before we start development. And this really shortened the development cycle for us, because we don't need to go through a P0 updates, things that the user didn't see using the Figma prototype. So it's very powerful, and we're really enjoying using Squirrel. So let me jump to several of our applications. So first off is our web calculators. So we use it quite extensively. For lead generation solution, for initial discovery, when a user can go and select between different product lines. You can see our Commerce Cloud between B2C to B2B. You can click next, and then what we have here, again, everything is powered by Squirrel. You can see here we generated a very interactive, quick ROI calculator that you can select between different value drivers. Very highly responsive. The user can enter its own input values and simulate what are the potential benefits using Salesforce solution. And we can make it very interactive in terms of the dynamically changing the canvas size. There are a lot of tooltips embedded in the tool. We can change currencies. In the future, we can change language. We can export and get a very nice PDF or PowerPoint reports. It's fully fully responsive. So amazing how it looks. It looks great on tablet or mobile phones, and fully interactive, fully responsive, and we are very happy with the result. You can see also an export example of the web calculator. So we can save it into PDF, and we push dynamically a lot of the results from Squirrel application directly into the PDF. And it's something that is done in a few seconds. And we can control 14 pages, highly designed graphics for our customer to use. Next, let me show you an example of a pricing tool. So this is a pricing discovery and sizing tool for our data cloud. So we built that in less than a week. So basically, we are taking our customers through a set of questions. You can see here we're taking the customers from 8 steps, and each steps there is input validation, there are enablement material, and we ask specific questions in order to estimate what are the consumption-based credits, which will be the basic for our pricing calculators. So the user plugs in information very quickly, adding existing resources, and then he gets a full estimation of the pricing. You can go down to a lot of details. Also, you can export to a nice PDF or PowerPoint. Let me show you here. And this is an example of a slide deck that you can, by click of a button, generate directly from Squirrel application with all of the results of the numbers plugged into the application. So again, very detailed, dynamic application that we can create. And this is another example of a more comprehensive ROI calculator. In this calculator, we captured a lot of our sales motion built into multiple steps that we take our sales rep. So give you an example, we can walk the user of creating a value map. So the user can click on and select from specific drop downs, which are usually industry specific, or he can go and click from guided step-by-step guided experience. You see it's several steps, and then you can move between different clouds. You can go into a nice value driver selection, including wizard that takes the user through sets of questions and produce the selection. And then we can also take the user through inputs. So it's a kind of a forms that we can get the customer inputs and build the baseline for the calculations. There are specific discovery questions. There is also the current state of each of the value drivers. There are validations. So every field that is changing numbers, we have a flag that tells you that this number was changed. We also can export the entire questionnaire into Excel and send it to a customer. We can also look at benefits. So for example, we can look at what is the expected benefits for each of the value drivers. And you can see here, we can then simulate different saving scenarios by moving sliders, and everything here is fully dynamic. So based on previous step selection, you'll see the next step selections. And what we are able to do is provide our sales rep with a lot of sales assets. So for example, we can look at view customer success metrics per industry. We can see different analytics reports. So whatever Gartner said about our competition, so if we are competing against Oracle, we can see what did Gartner say about Oracle, where is Salesforce positioned compared to the competition. We can even go and deep dive on certain value drivers, and we can see different assets in terms of proof points, customer stories, unique capabilities. And like I said, we can move different sliders and simulate different expected solutions. And all of this is to convince the customer we can deliver certain benefits. We have a full tab of building the solution itself. So start year currency, the cost of the annual cost. We have different ways of accounting for implementations, ramping up, so we can add phases to the rollout. And then we can have a full comprehensive dashboard that is fully interactive, that gives you the ROI, the payback period, the breakdown per value drivers, the 5 years estimate, the cost of delay. There is a lot of information here that is packed into one application. We build it using Squirrel. We use the parent and child approach in order to make it, to improve the performance. Components are loading on the fly, so we don't have to load so many components at once. And overall, we are getting is amazing adoption. We have by now, from the beginning of the year, we have more than 5,000 users. Most of them are sales rep, and it's not easy to get sales rep to use the application like that. But we have great adoption, and we generated about 11,000 value cases and touched about $1 billion of ACV, of sales value. So we do see how the adoption is increasing on using Squirrel. I think the speed that we can deliver application by Squirrel, it's phenomenal. And the fact that we only have 5 devs in the team, very lean team, can deliver a lot of impact. And I think it's mainly because of Squirrel no-code approach. Development cycle is estimated to take sometimes 5 to 10x longer than using Squirrel. And I think that, again, using Squirrel as start with a POC, with a simple approach with Squirrel, extend that into a full app, and when the time is right, move this complex Squirrel application into development in a later stage. So overall, for us, Squirrel is a big success. We're very happy with the team, and looking forward for many more years in development. All right. That's it on my side. Any questions?
Yes, thank you so much, Ziv. That's totally amazing. I mean, you said a lot of things there, and a lot of things triggered. I mean, you said that it touched almost $1 billion in ACV. I mean, that's enormous.
Yes,
it's earth-shattering.
Yeah.
I mean, so is that a combination of putting it in the hands of your salespeople, and of course, people just coming to your website and getting estimations off the website?
Yes, because we created an end-to-end solution using Squirrel. So we capture in the website, we capture the initial leads and discoveries. We start with several of our customers, and then those discoveries, those leads, turns into an opportunity. And we use the output of our web calculators as a form of a PDF in order to start the conversation with our customers. And then starting using our ROI tools, we can really get them excited about getting to use those tools. And I think what we've seen the most is that they take the tools and they promote it internally. So we're able to share those tools with our customers in order to empower them to promote Salesforce solution much faster. And I think that was one of the incentives that we have is when a customer or our champion in a customer site is promoting, asking for a budget, is also competing with his colleagues on the same budget. While the other colleagues come with Excel file, we come with this very impressive application. And I think this does the trick. I mean, when they see this amazing app and they really want to see more, and when they challenge him, what happens if you only do 5%? You just move a slider and all the numbers updates on the fly.
Right. And of course, part of it, because, as you're showing there, is that you're doing write back. And so you can capture the information and you can generate the quote as well, even with the way you were doing the automated quote with the on your website using I believe PDF Monkey there to generate the PDF quote on the fly as well. You're absolutely right. That's so much more powerful because you're getting instant quotes to the customer, decisions. They can try out all different scenarios. Another question that came in is, where's the data coming from that's driving the information in your dashboard here?
So for Squirrel, using Infoburst, I think this is a very powerful combination. It's very easy to create database connectivity. So in our case, we use a secure line into a Postgres, and it's so simple to use the Infoburst in order to create a connection. and connecting it into Squirrel, it's just a couple of steps. So for us, it's easy to build an app using Squirrel, but it's also easier to connect it to a database behind it. So this is where we store, read, write from all of the apps.
Okay, so your core data is sitting in a Postgres database in the cloud, and that's where you're pulling the data from, you're writing data back, and so forth. Excellent. Another part that caught a lot of people's attention was how you were generating those PowerPoint decks straight out of Squirrel. So what you're basically doing then is you can help your sales team that you can create these scenarios in Squirrel, and then you can automatically populate the PowerPoint deck. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We used to use PDF Monkey, and PDF Monkey required coding in HTML and JavaScript in order to create this template. But working with Rich and the team, he was able to create rather fast another add-on to Squirrel that allows us to control our own template. So basically, we create a template in PowerPoint, whether it's in the size of A4 for PDF or whether it's a PowerPoint. And using tags, basically the Squirrel add-on is injecting dynamically content from Squirrel directly into our output, whether it's going to be PowerPoint or PDF. And we've seen a lot of very amazing designs of the PDF or the PowerPoint in terms of able to combine high graphics together with the dynamically injecting data directly from Squirrel. So that turns out to be very powerful.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I suppose the question, begs itself as to what comes next. I mean, you've been dabbling a little bit with mobile-based calculators and so forth. I mean, where do you see this heading for Salesforce next?
So I think that we are starting to look and using Squirrel part of our development cycle. So for example, if we want to speed up POCs in order to make sure that we have go, no go in certain projects, I think using Squirrel, we can build almost realistic, fully functioning application, run it through several user validation, get some feedback, and then make a better decision whether we should pursue this project or not. So what we start seeing in our development teams, that other teams are now asking, can they use Squirrel in order to do a quick POCs without taking development time? So anyone can build the Squirrel application. And you don't need to take development time to build Squirrel. You can assign it to other profile of full-time employees. And I think the result is amazing because it's kind of extending the capacity of our development team and then make a better decision whether we should pursue a certain project or not based on much more comprehensive user validation. And you don't want to catch that after you developed and launched something. You want to catch that before that. So I think what Squirrel is allowing us to change the way we develop this stuff and expedite.
So that's fascinating. And the people building those POCs with Squirrel, are they primarily developers or also business people doing it as well, which kind of cuts down on, well, you don't have, the business users themselves should be the ones saying what the application should look like. I mean, is it a combination or what?
Yeah, it's primarily business users because those are the ones that are asking or putting down the requirements. So instead of relying on designers and then developers, they can actually put down the requirements, build a high fidelity prototype using Squirrel, and then demonstrate what is the experience that they are trying to get from there. And I think this is a game changer for us because you don't have to rely too much on designers and developer in order to build something. And most often it ends up in production like we have here. So those started as POCs and ended up in production for 2 years, touching $1 billion of ACV.
Yeah, I still can't get over that 1 billion. Oh my gosh, that's totally amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much again, Ziv. That was just incredible and fascinating. I don't see any more questions coming in at this point, unless any of the other panelists want to jump in and ask a question. I think no. Okay, all right, then thank you again. Much appreciated. Oh, wait a minute, one more came in. What is this? Oh, it just says really cool stuff. There you go.
I'll ask it. So you had some cool dynamic like drop down areas and so forth. Like that basically are kind of mimicking, like jQuery style and so forth. Any tips on how to build that? We had lots of collapsible areas. I mean, just a lot of great web techniques in there. There's so much fantastic design baked in.
So I think what we do is we use dynamic UI. So there's a lot of conditioning on terms of previous selections, what will drive the next selections and the drop downs accordingly. So it's a combination of how do we do the filtering within the Squirrel versus how do we connect the UI layer. And I think what is powerful in Squirrel is the ability to connect the UI seamlessly into your backend. So it is much easier to work with them both together. It's almost on the same layer. And it's a combination between queries that we do on our database versus filtering functions within the backend side of Squirrel, and then the connection to the front end, which is, I think, very powerful. One of the things very powerful is that you can control every bit of your component in terms of the UI, and you can link it dynamically into the Squirrel backend. I think this is something that we haven't seen in other applications. You can dynamically control font size, colors, XY location on a screen. There is a lot of things you can do. So this is what makes it so powerful, because you can really customize it the way you need it to.
That's great. So knowing that it's a spreadsheet backend, and this is probably the most complex design I've seen from most dashboarding or app creation style tools. Like how do you keep it all organized? Any recommendations there for people getting started?
Yeah, I think if it's a light application, then you can use a single dashboard. But if you're crossing this threshold and you're becoming more complex, I think you need to consider using multiple dashboards connected together. So kind of a parent and multiple child. This will simplify the design. You don't have to load a single dashboard with 1,500 components. So this for us was gave us a bit more structure. How do we build in terms of the foundation? How do we break down a massive application into multiple child's dashboards that really makes sense to break it down and then connect to a single parent? And the parent for us is the one that is in charge on the database connectivity. So all data coming in and out goes to the parent first and then distributed to the various childs.
So that's really interesting. So are you using basically the web view? So you have one kind of shell dashboard, and then you're layering in with a web view. And I know I'm always impressed with the fact that you can call so much in the dynamic parameters, like the URL and so forth. So is that how you're kind of passing some of those values through? Amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Okay, well, thank you so much again, Ziv. That was excellent. I hope you can stay on and listen to some of the others, but I do realize it's super late out there. Again, thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was totally awesome.